to begin actually mixing the grout, pour just about 3/4, a little bit more, most of your grout powder into a plastic bowl that can be thrown away or can be reused to make more grout again and again and again. And then keep a little bit of dry grout to the side in case your grout is too wet, and keep a cup of water to the side to start adding water a little bit at a time. The consistency of the grout is essential. It's the first and most important rule of grouting. If you get the consistency right, then grouting is easy. If it's too hard or if it's too soft, then your grouting can become a mess and it can become quite difficult. Not impossible, but difficult. So, to make sure you get the consistency right, you add the water a little bit at a time. And you start mixing it in. Now here, right off the bat, I've added too much water. If it's shiny and drippy, then it's too soft. So, good thing I left some powder behind. I just add more powder. If it was too hard, I'd have added more water, a little bit at a time, just by drops on it off the tip of my fingertips. And keep mixing until you get a good thick consistency. This is still a bit soft. Make sure I've got all the dry bits from around the edges. So I'm just going to add a little bit more powder. I'm used to making this up in much bigger batches, so I put quite a bit too much water in the beginning. As you're making it up, so start with a little bit less water than I added, and go just a little bit at a time, because you don't want to be stuck at the end where your grout is still too soft and you have none left out of your pre-prepared portion to make it dry. Now if that happens, we could have still grouted with the consistency the way it was before. It's not a problem. It's just easier to grout when your grout is this consistency. You're looking at the consistency of soft mashed potato. It's not runny, but neither is it solid or crumbly. So you've got a smooth, kind of putty consistency. Now, this is very important. Grout must sit now for 5 minutes. It's called slaking, and it's the beginning of the chemical process that actually cementifies your grout. So it's inert so long as it's in powder. When you add the water and you mix it together, a chemical bind starts, and you need to give it 5 minutes to make sure that that chemical bind is working before you put it onto your mosaic. So we're now going to leave the grout for 5 minutes to slake, and then we'll come back. In the meantime, I'm going to brush up my area clean and put my gloves on and get ready to go.